All right. Sorry, I'm live. I haven't been talking for a little bit, so I'm gargly. Today is June 8th, I think. Is it still the 8th? Yeah, it is. It's got 15 more minutes and it'll be the 9th. So we're getting closer to the 15th, which is next Sunday, which is our protest, which will be on L. Ron Hubbard Way. Everyone's welcome. And that's going to happen. In the meantime, LA's a little bit crazy right now. Hi, love it. It's pretty crazy here. And I'm trying to warn people. Hey, Chuck. Hi, thank you for the hearts, you guys. I'm trying to warn people to, keep peace alive. You know what I mean? I get it. Hi, Marie. We've got to stand up for the people that are being deposed, but you don't want to get deposed yourself. And at this point, I think that's one of their goals. They're arresting people. They just said it on the news. If you're downtown and you don't have business downtown, you're going to be arrested. Hey, Charles, how are you? Thank you guys for coming on. I'm really sorry. I haven't been on for a while. It's been really crazy. I don't know what happened with my laptop, but I finally got it to work. It was like it just wouldn't work. And it was like, come on. And so tonight I thought, all right, that's it. I'm just going to make it work. And I did. And I don't know what happened. It needed some kind of huge update. And it did this big, long update. And here I am. But that's where I've been. I don't know what happened. I thought something bad happened to it. And so I thought, well, I'll just wait a while. I had other stuff I was doing. I put Finji in the corner. That's funny. Why would you do that? Well, anyway, hi. Welcome to Midnight with Magoo. William Street's live stream. Okay, good. From DTLA just ended. So good timing. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. Because thank you, love it. I appreciate that. I'm glad that his just ended. That's kind of my thing. Is she played a prank on me? I didn't know Finji was a she. I always thought Finji was a he. That's really funny. That happens to me a lot where I love pranks. I know. Anyway, I kind of wanted to say to people, if you're here in LA, don't be downtown tonight. Don't really. I mean, it's like they've made it very clear that, it's like it's not right, but it doesn't matter what's right. If they have orders to arrest you, if you're down there, it's like, don't be there. Go tomorrow. We need to stand up for these people, but you don't need to get arrested or shot or hurt. And at this point, it's very dangerous. And it's like, I've been in protest since I was, I think, 17. I started protesting. And for a long time, I've been in a lot of protests. And here in LA, pretty much most of them have been very peaceful, the ones that I've been in. But this has really gone into a whole different category. There are 1,000 Marines who have been deployed to LA. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you have to understand, this is a different game. This isn't a protest at this point. They're saying these people have done criminal actions. You need to get it under control, whatever you have to do. And so I'm saying, don't be there, because don't be there tonight. Be there tomorrow, but don't be there tonight. And when you are there, make sure you're safe and make sure you're at a long distance away from any of this chaos that is going on. Because like they said on the news, at this point, these are professional chaos mongers that are running this, at this point. The guys that are burning the cars and stuff like that. That's not a good thing. And I know there's some people that are part of Scientology that think that is a good thing. But I, Tori, do not. I I don't. I believe in peace. I really do. I believe in peace and love. And you can call me a goofball, but that's it. Hey, Arrow 23. That's just where I am. And I'm alive because of it. I'm alive for a long time. I'm 77. That's pretty good. So, and I've been in Charles, that's crazy. What's crazy? Charles Patrick, they're shameless. Yeah, they are. They are shameless. And they have, I think, orders from the guy in the White House. And he doesn't care. He wants military law. So, because then we can't vote. Martial law. Once you get martial law in, then we can't vote. Is Tori frozen or is it my phone? I'm not frozen on this end. Hey, Tori. Hey, chat. I am who you say I am. That's a good one. Doesn't seem frozen to me. No, it's probably your phone. Turn it off and turn it back on. Love it. Because it's probably not really, really frozen. It's just sort of frozen. Okay. Hi, Eric. Hello, Tori, and all love from Culver City. Thank you. My mom is doing fine. Good. She doesn't need surgery. That's so great. That's wonderful. Tell her I said hi and congratulations. That's really great. She's doing a lot of rest. I'm far away from the protests and helping my mom. Perfect. That's exactly what you need to do. That's really what I want people to do, is do stuff that's positive and that it will either help your life, your family's life, or just stay safe. If you go to work, but come home, don't be out there, because this is, you can easily get snarled up in these kind of things. And because it's wrong. It is wrong. I mean, we don't need martial law here. I mean, you saw Gavin Newsom was saying, go ahead, arrest me. It's like he's against it. I've always said that Antifa is a CIA opera. It's a continuation of the 60s to 70s groups may do crazy things. And I was in those 60s and 70s groups. I mean, I was there when it was peaceful, and I was there when it flipped. And I was just telling my son this. I said, I remember it from the 60s. And, it was spooky. It really was. When it flipped, it flipped, and it was bad. And I knew to get out of there. I was just like, no, I'm for peace, but I'm not for this. And that's it. You're so right on, Tori. Thank you, Sierra. So happy I finally caught a live. I'm picking up a friend at the airport and waiting. Keep up with what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being kind. I really feel bad. I felt so guilty that I couldn't get this laptop going, and I thought, did it break? I don't know that much about computers. Anyway, it worked out, and here I am. So there you go. And I've been kind of caught up in watching all this stuff. And Solomon was out there today. Okay, yeah. Today in the daytime, I'm fine with everybody protesting. That's good, as long as you stay safe. Again, but really understand that in their minds, this is now no longer a protest. It's moved into criminal actions. And they're going to, like the guy said tonight, if you're down there tonight, you're going to be arrested unless you have absolute business, a reason to be down there. And as my son said, there's nothing downtown to be down there for. Nothing. Crime is dumb. It is. And it's just like it's a given that you're just going, okay, this is what you need. We'll give it to you. Don't. Hi, Rachel. Thank you for coming by. Thank you, all of you. Hey, I don't know if Lovett came back on or not. I don't know if she got her phone going or not, but she'll be back on in a minute. And hopefully Sophie will come too. Hey, Larry, how are you? I just wanted to let you guys know I'm alive and well. Hey, she's back. Hi, thank you. Good, I'm glad you're back. So it worked to turn off your phone. Tiggaroo, all right. Oh, Pooh Tiggaroo. Okay, all right. You might want to yell at Jessica then. She's out. I know, I have, believe me. I've been in touch. And, people are going to do what they're going to do. So all I can do is say, look, be very, very careful because, this, like I said, it's moved from a protest into criminal actions. That's how they see it. That's how they're announcing it on the news and saying, if you're out there and you're down there tonight, we're going to arrest you. And you have to remember something, because we used to talk about this for a long, long time in Scientology, because they had that thing. I don't know if you guys remember, it was like the governor of California, and he was kind of going around showing these different government buildings, and he would go up to him and knock on him. Jesse Ventura, that's who it was. I don't think he was the governor, but he was something. But he'd go knock on the doors, and they wouldn't say who they were. And he'd say, "You're a government building. Who are you?" And he'd walk away and he'd say, "This is a government building, and they won't even tell me who they are or who they're with," right? And that's the thing. It's like if they depose you or deport you into many other countries, you're guilty until somebody proves you innocent. Here in this country, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So, but it's up to you to do what's right. Jessica and Johnny was just shot at with rubber bullets. Damn. That really ticks me off. It really does. I mean, I get it that it's probably great content creation, but they don't need to. They really come back out of here. Go home. Go tomorrow. You can get shot at tomorrow. At least you'll be in the daytime. You'll have a better chance. 60s, 70s, COINTELPRO used young FBI agents and young state police recruits to go undercover in protest groups. Wow. And they usually were the ones who started and encouraged violence and damage. Exactly. Because this is a whole big program. I promise you that. This is not just about the deportation. This is about Trump. Remember early on, he said it. I'm not just making this up. He said it. He said, I'm going to, at some point, there won't be any elections anymore, and I will be running the country. Now, when he said it, we were all like, who would vote that knucklehead in? Well, guess what? Too many people did, and here we are. And if they put in martial law, which means we've lived through martial law here in LA, for just a short time, but it's like, it's 6:00, everybody's in, otherwise you're arrested. Era. Okay. Hey, Sophie, there you are. Hi. Thank you. We need lots of love. So Jessica and Johnny, if you hear this, get your asses out of there and come home for now. You're right, Tori. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. I really do. Because I worry about people, thinking, that it's just a natural thing. It's like, and people do want to see it, but the news is already covering it. And it's like, they need to come home and rest and be ready for tomorrow, and tomorrow start again. I mean, I know drilling. I know protesting, and it takes a lot of energy. It does. Okay, put Finji in the corner. How come ICE doesn't go into Scientology? Exactly. We were talking about that last night. Why not? That'd be a great place to get people. No, new name. I hate American politics. Yeah, it has my brother so intense that we are no longer talking. Wow, neither of us have U.S. ties. Okay, here's the deal. Now, I know this from Scientology. It's like all you have to do is say to your brother, look, you and I, this happened to me with my cousin. He was like totally pro-Trump, and I'm the opposite, right? So he would come on my Facebook and write all this shit, pro-Trump and, stuff like that. And so I finally said to him, look, here's the deal. You and I are family. We are family. This is my cousin. And I said, so we can do one of two things. We can either argue about politics or we can be family. That's up to you, because my choice is family. But if you want to keep posting on my Facebook site, which isn't your site, about stuff that I'm against, that's it. That's going to be the end of our family right there. And you know what? He picked the right side. He picked family, and he's been wonderful. It's been really nice. So I would recommend that with your brother. Just say, look, because we have a whole bunch of people. A lot of these ex-Scientologists are pro-Trump. I think I don't think they ever learned who Hubbard really was, and some of the abusive shit he did. So they're only against David Miscavige. But anyway, either way, I don't like politics either. But when it's in my town and there's people that are down there that I'm afraid of, which is Jessica, I'm worried about her. I want her to make sure to, get out of there and come home. And new names, see if you can work it out with your brother. You can. The footage I've been seeing looks really freaky. I still remember the LA riots. Exactly. And it's like, I think they're shooting for that because then they can put in martial law. Politics is theater. Look for the man behind the curtain. This is exactly what I'm saying. The man behind the curtain wants this to go down. What's going down is exactly what they need to put in what they want as far as controlling the city. My thing is like, get out of it. If you really need to go there in the day. Don't go at night. Nighttime is not a good time when martial law and, the heavy duty guys are in here, because like they said, if you're down there, we're going to arrest you. Sorry, Tori, I tried to not discuss it. I won't be yelled at. No, you don't need to be yelled at him, but couldn't you just say, because my cousin was the same. It was just awful. But couldn't you just say, look, can't we just start again? And we disagree on whatever subjects you're disagreeing on. But can't we just be family as far as, just basically good roads and fair weather? That's it. You could try it. Unfortunately, he'll choose arguing. Well, that's different. You don't need that. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry that's happening, but I understand. I do too. And I have plenty of people. I mean, nobody will talk to me here in LA. None of the Scientologists, not anybody. I see them, they go the other way. It's like I always say, am I shedding SP-ness or something? William had a rough day. Another scooter rider cut him off. Ooh, causing him to wipe out. Ooh, not his hand. Now his hand has all swelled up, maybe broken. Then an LAPD officer searched his backpack and stole Red Bull cans. Oh my God. This is awful. When did this happen, Charles? Do you know around what time? Sophie, thank you. Thank you. I am who you say I am. Yep. New name. Tori, it's past that. He's an angry middle-aged man. Okay. So is my cousin, just so you know. But so I was just trying to say, you could try it again. What the hell? But if you don't want to, I understand that too. It's like people are weird. They really are. I'll tell you, when you see this kind of stuff, you go, wow. Any grassroots movement will be infiltrated by destructive, driven pawns. Avoid any group. Well, I don't know that that's fair. We're going to have a protest on Sunday, and I wouldn't say to people to avoid it. You have to you have to know the timing of things, because that's what happens in protests. They go along and they're great. Everybody's peaceful. They're protesting along, and then all of a sudden it flips out. Some knuckleheads come in, start burning the cars like you see and stuff like that. That's the time to go. It's like, you know what? If you guys want to see more of this shit, you can watch the news. It's like, I get it, but that's the way I feel. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. Is stay safe. Kent State happened 55 years ago, and these morons haven't learned anything. I know, we were around for Kent State, where these people got shot. It's like we lived through some very violent times. So, like I remember, I think it was I don't know if it was the KKK, but it was some awful group that showed up in Haight-Ashbury. And man, they flipped it. I mean, it was really weird. It went from this really peaceful, wonderful, loving group to just awfulness really quick. And I was like, I'm out of here. Unfortunately, many people can't agree to disagree these days. It's stupid because we can argue about politics all day, but it's just more division. Yeah, it's true. Doctor Who, all right. With William, they start his bag. They start his bag earlier in the evening. Their excuse for taking it, as they didn't want to be hit with the cans of Red Bull. See, that's used by the guys instigating the thing or throwing the cans. That's what I think. Anyway, Charles Patrick, all of that happened to a William in the late afternoon. Oh, okay. Well, is he okay now? Did he go to the hospital or anything to check his hand? I am who you say I am. If it gets big enough, it'll be infiltrated. It already is. It already is. They already said that on the news, about an hour ago, that it's definitely infiltrated. It's all peaceful until it's not. Exactly. And it's already hit that point, Sophie. You'll get the news. Earlier today, Streets was mad. I bet. I don't blame him. Okay. That's too long a name for me. I'll just say Pinto. I remember the LA riots in the 90s and remember the Scientologists guarding their buildings. They all stood outside the buildings. Yeah. I was probably one of them. I was in the 90s. New name, Sophie. Yep. As I said to my brother, I feel like in discussing a video clip and you're discussing a nation, it's hard when the anger at the world gets directed at you. Yeah, you don't need that. I know. I mean, that is how my cousin was, though. But when I gave him that thing of like, look, we can either just, argue for the rest of our lives about politics, or we can be a family. We don't have that many family left. And I said, it's really up to you. It's not up to me. And that's what changed it. See, if I had been trying to make him do it, it wouldn't have worked because he was like your brother. He was very argumentative. But when I said, look, it's not up to me. I pick family, but it's up to you. If you want to have family, then that's where I draw my line. But if you can't do it, I get it. That'll be that. And he sends me pictures of little kittens and stuff like that. It's very sweet. It really is. Okay, happy days. They were trying to infiltrate the Black Panthers. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Thank you. That's right. And they were interrogating people like my mom, who showed up at Sonoma State University back in 1974. Yeah. Yep. I was just watching William, and he didn't seem hurt to me. Okay, good. About 5 minutes ago, he went home. Okay, good. Good. Way to go, William. Streets LA. I'm happy you're home. And Jessica, go. I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse as the night goes on. Because you have to understand something. These guys, first of all, are trained to hurt people. That's what they're doing. That's a group that's there now. They're trained to hurt people. And they're not thinking, oh, let's help these people. No. So if you're out there at night, and they've already said, if you're out there at night, you're going to get arrested. There's a time and a place to make things happen. And you've got to take care of you. Remember in the airplane, I don't know if you've ever even flown in an airplane. I think you have. And they always come out and they say, put in the oxygen on yourself first if things start to go down, because if you die first, your kid is going to be dead. That's what's going to happen. Because most people think, oh, I can't put it on me. I'll put it on my child. And they're like, no, put it on you so you're okay, and then put it on the kid. And it's the same with all of this. It's like most of what's going on tonight is exactly, I think, planned and, designed to have this insanity happen. So the best thing you can do is get out of there. And then tomorrow, go back if you want to and protest, but make sure you're safe. But not tonight. Don't do it at night. It's gotten into a too creepy thing. Speaking of Kent State, National Guard was locked and loaded with 30 round clips of their M4 rifles today. First time I've seen the National Guard troops in the U.S. soil with ammo clips loaded. I know. They said that it's like this is unbelievable. So here's Sophie, new name. Yeah, I get it. My relationship with my brother hasn't been the same since we went mental. Since I think you meant he went mental at me for having a different political view. People have become unhinged about it. They have. It's too bad. It really is. New name. I tried. Instead, I was called psychotic and mentally ill. You don't need that. You know what? Take your stuff and go then. I agree with you. Forget about it. Jessica's still down there by the police line. She should get away from it, Jessica. If you're listening to me, get away from it. At least don't be by the police line. No. I mean, please. All it's going to take is, one thing where it doesn't matter. They don't have to justify it. Lock you up. There you go. You know what? Now that we think about it, it's time for you to go to another country. And then that's it. None of us can come get you. It isn't like when you got arrested downtown and we came, people came and helped each other. It isn't like that. It's like if they send you to another country, it's bad news. Sophie, Charles Patrick, yes, I think people forget about that. The military on the streets is an incredibly dangerous thing, especially when it's up, it gets to this degree, which is what they want. Eric, I was too young to remember the LA riot. Wow, really? Oh, how cool. I was like 4 or 5 years old and my parents didn't want to talk about it. Wow. And my brother and I would have had nightmares. Aw, well, good for your parents. Tell your mother I said hi. Hi, Mark. Thanks for coming by. Hey, Keiko. Oh my God, I hope you don't have to go near any of the, no, I don't. I've been talking about it. I've been telling people don't go near it unless like if you want to protest, do it in the daytime. Do it in the daylight because at nighttime, shit just happens in a bad way. And it's like they can see a bush start wiggling and go, somebody's in the bush. And they shoot you. And you know what? We thought there was somebody. Read the book, Blink. There's an excellent book called Blink. And it talks about your very first instincts are 90% right. My first instinct on Scientology was, what the hell is this? These are not my people. I saw all these big pictures of L. Ron Hubbard, and I thought, he looks like Adolf Hitler. And the Sea were marching around, and I was a hippie. And I'm like, what am I doing here with these people? I mean, it really was a wrong thing for me. And had I read Blink, I would have just turned around and left. Because the first example in Blink is the Getty Center. And I've told you guys this before, but for anybody who missed it, they had a statue and they were saying it was from last century. And everyone was admiring it for a year. And how great it is that you found it and blah, blah, blah. And some guy walks in and he goes, you know what? That's a phony. That was never in the ground. And so they go to the guy that bought it and they go, okay, what were your first instincts? And he goes, my very first instincts? And they go, yeah, your very first instincts. He goes, well, my very first instincts was that it's a phony. That's how it works. A man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. So it's like, be very, very careful. It's so easy to make that flip, where it's like, I thought it was creepy, But then what happened is I went and I went in to talk to the guy that my friend from Chicago had said, asked for John Hildebrand. So I said, I want to talk to John Hildebrand. He's on the big course. And they said, you can't, he's on course. He'll call you at 10:30. So I hitchhiked back out in the valley. I thought, right, the guy's going to call me. This was in 1969. And I thought, right, the guy's going to call me, at night. It was nighttime. And he did. He called me at 10:35 and he said, I'll be out there in a few minutes. I'm going to come get you. And he came and got me and he brought me back to and we sat next to Asho, which if anybody was in Scientology back then, which I don't think many of you were, if any, but if anybody hears this and you remember it, it was on Temple Street. And right on the corner there was a police station, Scientology, and right on the corner was a liquor store. And he said, I think I'm going to go get a 6-pack of beer. And I thought, well, he can't be all bad. He drinks beer. Remember, I was a hippie, so I'd been doing drugs up in San Francisco and stuff like that. I mean, I was kind of off of drugs because I was going back to college and then quit college and hitchhiked out here. Just a minor point. But anyway, he said, well, what are your considerations? And I said, I don't like those big pictures. They look pretty creepy. And he said, yeah, we don't like those either. And I said, what about those guys marching around in those uniforms? And he said, that's just a Sea Org, that's not us. And he said, well, what did you come here for? And I said, I want to be an auditor. And he goes, well, that's what all these people are. And there were like 100 people next to Asho at 10:30 at night, or 10:45 now. They all come out at night and talk and smoke, because we were all smoking back then. And they'd all talk. And he said, let's go talk to the auditors and you can meet them. And that's when I thought, okay, I don't care what these people do. I want to be one of them. And that was, the beginning of me doing Scientology. Jessica's brothers in town said she was being a bit more cautious because he's not streetwise. Ooh, okay, that's not good. I mean, it's good that she's being more careful. I just don't like that he's out there and down there and not streetwise. Get the hell out of there. Johnny, come home. I'm telling you, just get out of there for tonight. I can't say it enough. It's like, I love these people and I really care about them. And I don't want people getting hurt unnecessarily. And I know they probably think, especially Jessica, because she's been here protesting, that, it's like, oh, nothing will happen. Well, it's not. That's not necessarily true. So come home and go back tomorrow when it's safe. And at least it'll be a lot safer. You still have to be very careful tomorrow and stay away from these guys that are creating this chaos, because they want to create the chaos, because then they can put in martial law. And if they put in martial law, I'm going to be pissed off. Okay, let the pot stirrers eat their own stew. Easy to say, Jill, but for we who live here, that's why I'm making this video, because I want people to realize we're part of the stew. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, I understand if it was isolated, yeah, let them eat their own stew, but it isn't isolated. That's what's happening. In other words, one of the snotty trolls got in Jessica's face at the protest. Oh, no, what happened there? I think Tori is talking about Blink, the power of thinking without thinking. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Keiko. If anyone wants to look it up, thank you. Hi, David Jenkins. That's how I felt when I was a kid and they tried to get me to speak in tongues. Wow, interesting. Well, thank you for that book title, because I never knew that. I don't even think I realized that was the whole title. I just know it as Blink, because it mainly just says Blink. But it's the power of thinking without thinking. Anyway, it's really a good book, and it has lots of examples, and a couple of them are police killing this kid. One of them was a kid who just reached in his pocket to get his wallet out to show them his ID, and they killed him. And later they interviewed him, and their first instinct was don't shoot, but then they all just started shooting, and they killed him. And so I'm like, I am a very strong activist. Jessica knows that. She's always like, I'll be like Tori when I get older. And I'm always like, I was like her when I was younger. I was. But I did also know when to leave. I'll go after things, but if it gets violent or weird or anything like that, I'm out of there. I'm like, I'm not playing that game. No. It's like Scientology. That's how I got out of that. It was like, wait a minute. This is really weird. I did not get into Scientology to stop free speech. Bill Yachty, if you're hearing this, I'm still talking to you. There you go. So David Jenkins, remember the Woody Allen protest scene where he gets wrapped up in the fire hose and then arrested? Exactly. There you go. Yeah. I am who you say I am. And that's my point, is that once they have these National Guard are here, they're not, just going to like, put you down with the LAPD. No, it's going to be something different. It's going to be 95 here tomorrow. Ooh, it's 80 degrees in here at 12:20. Wow. Having watermelon. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, so you're up in Oregon. Wow. Well, that's hot. It's nice here. It is. It's nice out. I can see where it'd be like, yeah, let's go down and protest. But I left my friends and came home, and I could hear the helicopters, in the air. And I'm in Burbank. This is downtown. So I thought, this is not good. No. Yeah, I know watermelon is delicious, especially when you're thirsty, when it's hot. It's really good. So anyway, that's mainly my thing, is see what you can do to create peace. And at nighttime, I don't think it's a good time to create peace. Glad you're safe, Tori. Lots of people going crazy here too. Lots of sirens and copters all day. Yeah. I know, that's the goal. That is actually the goal. So it's like, to the degree you can move it from that to peace is good. If you can't, stay inside. I'm not dumb. I'm staying in at night. Yeah, exactly. Nighttime is not a good time, especially, it just isn't. It's not a good time to be out. Especially when the National Guard is here and they're saying on the news, if you're downtown and you don't have specific business, and doing TikTok is not, they don't consider that business. Hi, Kate. How are you? Welcome. They don't consider that business. So they just said, if you're down there and you don't have very specific business, you will be arrested. And that was like, this is one of the National Guard guys talking. I was like, shit. So I texted, Jessica, get out of there, come home. But I remember me at her age. It's like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So it's up to you, Jess. But just know that this is different than protesting. It is. All right. I have a few instances of I want to leave now, only to hear something happen shortly after I leave. Mass arrest at club 5 minutes after I insisted on leaving. There you go. Yeah, so you left in time. Good. Yeah, I know. I have a lot of those too, where it's just like, wow, good timing. Eric, Jessica needs to stay away. Life-threatening situations like protests that can hurt her life. She needs to take care of herself. Again, I get it. She's a live streamer and that's what she does. But like I said, like in the plane, they say, put the oxygen on yourself first and then your child, right? And So she's got to take care of her because we need her. We do. She's a wonderful person. And so is Will. And so I'm really happy Will is home at least. Hi, Katie Light. Thank you for your kind words. Just got out of the hospital. Wow. Is it rough in your neighborhood? No, my neighborhood is totally quiet. I mean, you can hear the helicopters above because I have no idea why they're even in my area because this is downtown, which is probably about 20, 30, maybe a half an hour away. But I don't know. I really don't. I don't know why they are, but they've sort of calmed down now. So maybe they're just downtown. But anyway, my area is fine. And I'm going to make sure it stays fine. Thank you. Thank you. I am who you say I am. I need to do mine too. I know it's kind of fun to have. I like, there's something about nails, like I don't have a lot of TV stations and stuff where you have to pay all that money for cable and stuff. I'm like, no. I asked my friend Drew, who I protest with, but he knows a lot about electricity and stuff. And he said, nah, just get an antenna. And I said, I don't want to put an antenna on my roof. He said, no, for $20, you can just buy an antenna and you set it up next to your TV. And now you've got all these stations. I mean, it's amazing. It's so cheap and it's free. It's not $20 a month. It's $20. That's it. Then you've got an antenna. So anyway, that's what I do. And then for money, I'll get my nails because to me, that's more fun. Jessica was using Will as a human shield yesterday. I heard that when the cops were shooting pepper balls at protesters. Oh, I am who you say I am. Yep. That's what we do. Antenna. Yeah. I know it really helps. You save a lot of money. My husband had us paid for all kinds of cable stuff. And I knew, we were all the time, having to give Scientology money and he was paying the cable company and this and that. And when we got divorced, I was like, cancel, 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 cancel. I don't need this. I don't need that. It was just so much better. We can never watch all those channels anyway. Exactly. I mean, I have Netflix. That's the one thing I pay for, but it's, very affordable. And there's tons of stuff on Netflix. But you're right. I mean, even if I didn't have Netflix, it's like, how are you ever going to watch all that stuff? Sophie, I haven't forgotten about you, hun. You will get an email from me if life can just leave me alone. Aww. Well, you're better, right? You got out of the hospital. Aren't you the one that got out of the hospital? Forgive me. I'm bad at. Let's see. Somebody just said that. Yeah, you just said you just got out of the hospital. What were you in the hospital for? Can you tell us? Well, anyway, I'm glad you're out. Honestly, don't worry. I know you're busy. Yeah. Take your time. When you get out of the hospital, the biggest thing you can do is take time to rest, heal, drink a lot of water. That's it. Just rest, heal. Don't worry about things. That's what you have to do. That's my advice. Oh, it's so good to see you guys. I've been missing you. And then this laptop, I honestly, I don't know what happened, but I guess I finally got all the updating that needed to happen. But it wasn't starting. It was just like, no, we're not starting. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going to try it the next night. No, we're not starting. And I was just like, all right, tonight. I was like, that's it. That you're going to start tonight. This is a brand new laptop. Come on. So anyway, I got it started and it did the update. Hopefully everything's fine. They wanted me to do some update on StreamYard, which is what I'm on with you guys. And I just said no, because I just thought, no, it'll be another hour. Hey, June. Hi. Thanks for coming by. I know it's kind of late for everybody, and I should go to bed pretty soon myself. But I just wanted to it's so nice to see you guys. All right. Jess is with Chris without a Hellcat. All right, and she's going home. Yay! Good. Good, 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 good. Yay, Jess. Yay, 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 yay. And thank you, Chris, without a Hellcat. He's always a guy who comes and saves her. He's really great. I haven't talked to him in at least a year. I haven't seen Chris without a Hellcat, but I always see him on her videos. She's with him and he'll show up. I remember she got swatted that's when I first kind of got to know her. And she was going to Beverly Hills. She was going to a party, and then that was a bomb. So then she went to a party in Beverly Hills. And I'm watching her and I'm following it. And as she gets out to the party in Beverly Hills, there is not a soul there. There's no cars. And I hear these guys yelling. And I type in, I go, Jessica, get out of there now. This is not a party you need to be at. And right then, over the mountains comes a helicopter. And I'm talking to her mom, who's on the thing. And I said, are you having a heart attack? And she goes, yeah. And anyway, luckily everything went out. So then we both kind of had a heart attack because it's like, what happened to Jessica? But then Chris, I think it was Confident Chris, came and got her. So she was okay. But we got to take care of each other. So that's good, Jessica. I'm happy you're going home. I'm very happy she's going home. Watching the news here, it's really spooky. And it's like, I really think this is a program from the guy in the White House, and he wants this to happen. So, the more disaster there is, the more they need to bring in martial law. And the more they bring in martial law, guess what? We can't vote anymore because everything's locked down. Bingo. There's his third term. So I say, no, don't give him a third term. Take care of yourself. Okay. All that in the past 6 months, and I'm only 45 years old. It happens. I watch a lot of streamers, and they're all having issues with the latest StreamYard. Oh, see, I didn't update it. Thank God. See, that was probably it. Thank you for letting me know that. Because I was going to update it, and I thought, no, I don't think I have to. And I'm doing good as it is. So that's good. Thank you for letting me know that. I am who you say I am. Okay, so Katie Light said she's out of the hospital. Too much stress, anxiety, panic attacks. I had 2 almost heart attacks. Wow. I don't know the medical term in English. Sorry. Well, you communicated it. So take care of yourself. Like I said, rest. Don't worry about a lot of stuff. Just try to... When I left the cult, I watched a show on TV. It was a stress clinic. And these 2 doctors came on and they said, we teach every single person that comes into our clinic. This is the first thing we teach them. If you walk through our doors, you will learn this. And I thought, okay, what? So I'm listening and he goes, it's 4, 7, 8. And I'm listening. I'm thinking, okay, what's that? He goes, inhale for 4 seconds through your mouth or through your nose. Hold it for 7 seconds and then slowly exhale through your mouth with your mouth open. It took me a long time to realize the mouth open is a big deal because I do it at night to go to sleep and it's like 4 seconds in, hold it for 7 and let it out slowly through your mouth and I'm out. But I do it all the time. You can do it over and over, until you calm down. So if you're stressed out, do the 4, 7, 8. And that'll help you. It will. And know that we love you and we care about you. And you have a whole bunch of people that care about you. Hellcat is I know he is. Yeah. Saturday night, he helped people get away from ICE police. Wow. On the train tracks. Wow. That's intense. Good for him. Way to go. Sophie, I have very hard and impactful decisions to make. Not just for me. Well, Katie, if you need someone to talk to. Sophie's really good, so she'd be really smart. Or you can talk to me, but don't just try to do it all by yourself, because that's so stressful in itself. You know what I mean? Sometimes just telling it to someone and they can hear it, and they might hear something you didn't even think about and go, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. So make sure if you have friends there, do that, or family, or talk to Sophie. And sorry, Sophie, I'm throwing you into this, but I know you, and you'd be great, or me. I remember watching that live with Jessica. Scary. Yeah, June, right. Yeah, it was scary. That was really scary. Anyway, YRB, hi, agree it is feeding into Trump's desires, and it's unfortunate. I don't think the general population will see it that way. I see it that way 100%. And it's like a planned program. It's like, I guess because I've lived through Scientology, I know their programs. And it's like, when it goes bad, you got to get out of there. That's all there is to it. Because, that's just the way it is. And, on the other side of this chaos, we see that there are moments of humanity worthy of recognition. Absolutely. That is for sure. I'm just tonight wanting to protect my friends who were downtown, and I'm hearing on the news, I was watching the Tonys tonight with Spanky, so I was just, over there watching the Tonys, and then I came home and I could hear these helicopters, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's going on here, because I had checked and they were fine, and she wasn't going out. She was like, no, we're home. So I was like, okay, good. So I'm watching the Tonys with Spanky. I come home. I say, okay, see you later. I got to go home. And the helicopters are, already flying around. And I'm thinking, okay, something's up. I come in, turn on the news. And that's when I went, okay, I got to make a video. I got to get Jessica out of there one way or the other, whether it's with us or, whatever. I just felt like I needed to talk to Jessica and to anybody else in the LA area. Just do not go out at night, because that is definitely when they can nail you, and you don't want to be nailed. It's not a camera moment. It's your life could be, really affected in a negative way. Glenn Payne, but thank you, YRB. I appreciate both of your views on that, because absolutely there's some great moments of humanity that have happened. But it's turned a little tricky now. I have a question about Scientology. Curious if the volcano from OT3 is all over the basic text like Dianetics that they sell everywhere. What do they say to the significance of the volcano is? That's a good question. I don't honestly remember that. I remember seeing it, and I would imagine they would just say, well, it's symbolic, of like all the explosions that are going to happen when you get auditing and stuff starts coming off. It's just going to be such a huge release. That's what I think. I can't remember. I didn't ask that question when I joined. Remember, I joined there. Like they always say, people don't join cults. Cults come and find you. Well, they did. These kids from high school brought me the Dianetics book. So that's how I got any connection to it at all. Otherwise, I would have never known about it, and I would have been in college. Okay. Hi, Rach Munchin. I'm late, but for now, hi. Hi, everyone. Hi. And Katie Light says, and breathe from your belly, not from your chest. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But that 478 thing is really powerful. Was there an issue at the Scientology buildings tonight, or is it about the current situation? It's about the current situation in LA. And, it's now gotten really violent. So I'm just trying to make sure that anybody living in LA, don't be there at night. Get in at night. go there in the day. If you go there in the day, make sure you are safely there. You're not like, because they're really, I think they have orders from the man in the White House, get them. It's like they want this kind of chaos because then they can put in martial law. And that's what he said in the beginning. This is his plan that he said to us before he was ever elected the first time. It's like, yeah, we're not going to, this 2-term thing, it's not going to happen anymore. And everybody was like, huh? And he was like, well, you're not going to have any voting, so that'll be over, and I'll just take over the country. And I remember the time we were like, oh, yeah, right. This knucklehead's going to take over the country. Hello, here we are. So, it's not cute. And it's like anything. My dad used to teach me, if you're going to be in a game, remember, he was a professional football player. He's in the Football Hall of Fame. And he said, if you're going to play in a game, know the rules, Tori. Don't just jump into a game and not know what the rules are. So it's the same kind of thing here. It's like you kind of got to play it and understand, okay, now wait a minute. This was a protest about these people that are being deported, which absolutely should continue, because it needs to stop with them illegally deporting people. It's just awful. So that's insane, and that has to stop. But before that, see, this is like, here's these people getting, it's over here. It's like these people are getting deposed. And that's what everybody's attention was on. But now there's all the violence over here. You see what I mean? And it's like, wait a minute, look over here, look over here. Don't look over there at those people. Look over here at this thing. So, that helps too, because it's such a huge distraction off of these people, just taking their families and throwing them out of the country, which people are like, no, you can't do that. So anyway, I'm just saying, let's not contribute to the insanity. Let's continue with the protest, where it's like a lot of it's education and a lot of it's just saying, no, this isn't okay. You can't just throw people out. But it's tricky. It is. So you got to stay safe. And even if you go tomorrow, you got to stay safe. I don't advocate new names, that I don't advocate harm, but how different things would have been if they didn't just graze Trump's ear. Yeah. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. ICE will never go in the Scientology buildings. They would find, yeah, exactly. And Scientology would pay them off. Ratch, I think I know which Jessica was referenced, because if I'm right, I see her shorts in my feed and YouTube a lot lately. I worry about her. Yeah. Yeah, she's okay. She's doing fine. I just want to make sure she takes care of herself, and and make sure she's safe, because this is moving into a whole different thing. Also, anybody with any history of protesting, that's me, in LA, or having an issue with the LAPD, this is not the time to put your face in front of them. Or people that have issues with Scientology, because guess who's going to get with ICE and go, these people are really awful too. Whatever. Yeah, I don't think, we can't tell people what to do, but we can recommend which times. There's 24 hours in a day, so you can pick certain times when it's a better time, it's less chaos, it's more productive. It's like a lot of people it'll just be better. Sunlight is out, so they can see. Do you see what I mean? It isn't like, well, I can't tell who that is, let's shoot. No. Democrats and Republicans are two wings. Yeah, exactly. Very true. Glenn Payne, do you think all these protests from Palestine and anti-ICE will eclipse the surface of the Father's Day protest? No. We're still going to have the protest, and that's the way it is. I mean, she's spent all that time and money to get the permit, so I say let's do it. It's sort of like it's already been planned. We've already said we're going to do it. If you've RSVP'd and said you're going to come. That's what I think. And if you haven't RSVP'd but you want to come anyway, because the more the merrier. It's definitely better. That may be true, but if a bird has only one strong wing, it flies in a circle. Now that's a good point. You're very smart, YRB. Now, Ratch Munshine. All right. She's saying hi to Rachel. 49ers for life. Hey, hi. How are you? I'm dying to find out about JB808. Does anybody know? Is he still in Japan? I missed that. Just because you have a right to protest, or that it's a right thing to protest, doesn't change the fact that if the authorities decide to shut you down, you don't have any rights. That's exactly right. Thank you very much, Sophie, for saying that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like they just said it on the news. It's like this is not a civil rights protest at this point. This has moved into chaos and insanity. And so their orders are to put in order. And they're saying if you're downtown and you don't have an absolute job or something that you're going to, you will be arrested. That's what they said. So I'm just trying to let people know that's what I mean. It's like, you can say I have a right to protest, not when it turns federal, not when the president of the United States is saying put in order, and whether right or wrong. It's like, I don't think it's as bad as he's saying it is, but he's the boss. Unfortunately, I didn't vote for him, but a bunch of knuckleheads did. And I'm sorry if you're one of them, because that's the way I feel. It's like our country is going down the drain, and it's thanks to that guy in the White House. And Trump, if you hear this, you got to stop doing all this stupid stuff. This is ridiculous. You have to start caring about this country. That's what you said you were going to do. I didn't vote for you, and I wouldn't vote for you, not ever. But the people who did voted for you because you said you were going to take care of the country. And that's what you need to do. Okay, YRB, my name is Dawn, and I'm a woman. Oh my God, all this time, this is so freaky for me. The other person that I thought was a guy too. I don't know why. I thought you were a guy. My name is Dawn, and I'm a woman. Well, thank you. Oh, wait a minute. YRB, my name is Dawn. Now wait, Dawn, are you YRB? Or are you saying to YRB, my name is Dawn? Because I would figure Dawn is a girl, but I thought are you saying YRB is Dawn or not? It's something with American politics that I never understood, Katie Light. You are not the party that you voted for, and they are your employees. They won't change. It's simpler. You, the people, ask and make the change. Yeah, sure. You come live here and make the change. I know, it sounds good. I mean, I went to Norway, and it was like, oh my God, Life is so simple. It's so wonderful. Everyone was so happy. I said, Andreas, it's like these people are on vacation all the time. Wherever we went, they were working all the time, but they were on vacation. They were like super happy. And he said, that's because we take care of people from birth to death. They know that. And then I come back to the United States and everybody's like, yeah, but they have to pay a lot of taxes. And I'm like, I would pay any amount of taxes if I could live a life like that. Who cares? Who cares how much money you have to pay in taxes if you can live, if everything you need from birth to death you have? I have to use chat. Sorry about that. That's what it hears. Okay, so YRB, are you separate from Dawn or are you Dawn? YRB, oh, Okies. Okay, so I think you two are different, right? New name, Kate. She is blonde, New Jersey accent, sometimes tries to wear a disguise unsuccessfully. Who are you talking about, new name? Okay, YRB, I recently had a shoulder replacement and I'm not able to use my phone to type. Okay. So I still haven't found out. Does anybody know if YRB is Dawn? Are they the same person or are they two different people? Read that your dad called the first Super Bowl. He did with Kurt Gowdy, right, for NBC in 1967. Yep, he did. Dawn Lambert, YRB, ouchies. Hope it gets better soon. Okay, so YRB, your shoulder is hurt? I recently had a shoulder replacement. Ooh, good for you. I'm not able to use my phone, but at least you have it. It's just make sure to do the exercises they give you. Make sure of that. Now, YRB, can you tell me if you're a man or a woman? Because I'm trying to find out if you're Dawn or not. I don't think you are, but I don't know. I got confused. It's great. Audit LA got that permit for the protest. Yeah, I know. It is. That's why I want to do it. And not to be or appear self-consumed, but just curious how I got a crown. What happened is, this is what I think. JB808 and a few other people have donated memberships. This is what I think. And so I think you get like little things if you now have a membership. Do you know if you're a member or not? I'll have to check into it. I haven't been able to get into my laptop until tonight. YRB, absolutely. It's picking the time, please, and where you're going to be most effective. Right, exactly. But you still haven't answered my question, YRB. Are you Dawn or are you YRB separate? And if you're YRB separate, are you male or female? And you don't have to answer if you don't want. You can just say, I don't, no comment. I'm glad she's being careful. Who's being careful? I don't vote. All right. Well, that's a vote for Trump. That's what I always tell people when they go, I don't vote. I go, okay, that's great. That's a vote for Trump. If you want Donald Trump in the office, then don't vote. If you don't want him, vote. We need your votes. I mean, the guy wouldn't be in office. We wouldn't be in this position if everybody who didn't vote voted. YRB, it may not, and I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's how I feel. YRB, it may not get media attention, but it might not have any way. The intent is to hold the event, and it will demonstrate, if anybody sees it, how to communicate peacefully with love. Exactly. Yeah. Are you going to come, YRB? Will you be at it? Sophie, we all like to think we have a right to protest, and admittedly, the USA has more protections than any other country, but I've seen in my own country that if the government says no, then it's going to be bad. Exactly. That's my point. That's why I decided tonight I have to say something. New name, first disguise of hers I saw. I laughed out loud. For real, she showed to us the end of a short. Oh, you're saying new name? The first disguise of hers. Okay. You saw a disguise of new name? Or Jessica? Because Jessica, I did the same thing. I laughed out loud when I saw her thing. New name. If you're talking to me, Katie Light said, I presume that you're talking about Jessica. Yeah, okay. And I've been around the block for years. I know who are the two most impactful people, her and Street, who started this new wave. Exactly. Dawn is saying that to YRB. Okay, so Dawn is separate from YRB. Okay, good. And Dawn is saying it to YRB. Okay, good to know. Okay, Christian, hi, question. Do the top executives of the C of S understand that it's a scheme, or do they truly believe in the doctrine? I have no idea. You know, I met David Miscavige once. He showed up at where we were at in Clearwater, Florida. We were at the Sandcastle Hotel, and we had a big map of where all the OT7s were in the world, and everybody had all these fun things on their doors. And, you know, we were having a good time. It was really great. We had to come every 6 months, and so we were having a good time. Miscavige showed up, and he goes, okay, this party's over. He tore everything off of everything, the map down, everything. And he said, this party's over. You know, you guys are going to get professional. We're going after the doctors and dentists, chiropractors, etc. And you're going to look like them, act like them, talk like them. I mean, it was very weird. I was like, screw you, man. You know, and that was the only thing I've ever had with David Miscavige, except he declared my friend Tony Clock was serving food at the time, and Miscavige didn't like his fork. So Tony said, would you like me to get you another fork? And he looked up and said, I don't like that guy's tone level. Put him on the RPF. So that's my experience with, well, not just that, because I wrote him for 7 years saying OT7 didn't work and there was something wrong. And he would never answer me. He would just say, okay, continue. Okay, continue. I doubt if he even got my letters. But point is, it really ticked me off. And I only really got a communication about him the night that I left and went and escaped out. And then a Scientologist said, well, I'm best friends with Dave Miscavige, and I can get him a message tonight. And I said, really? Well, give him this message. I picked them, which were the SPs. You know, it's like, I don't want you, Scientologists. Screw you. So anyway, I don't have a lot of affinity for David Miscavige. He is absolutely, I mean, Scientology wasn't the greatest, but it was a lot better than it is now. It's a mess. Yep. Same Jessica. Sorry, used your abbreviation. Yeah, I know. LOL. Come here and make the change. You come here and make the change. Exactly. I mean, people always say that. You should do this. You should do that. All right, well, you come here and do it. You thought of it. You come here and do it. I'm just kidding. I don't think that we can ever judge an entire population for the actions of their government. It's sad that people do that. Okay. Midnight with Magoo. Hi, Dylan. How are you? Yes, I'm different than YRB. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Dawn. I'm glad that you clarified that. And Rach Munshine, you're not alone in that Tory. Only it's Tory. Remember, that's how you spell my name. New name, Kate. That's great that you know who the NB people are. I only described her because said you were not sure if it was her popping up in your feed. Oh, I got that. I bet they will cancel the permit now. I don't think so. I don't think they can cancel it. She has a permit. I think they'll probably do a movie on the street trying to distract us. Like I remember with Anonymous, they had 500 anonymous guys, all in their outfits, across the street from Scientology. And we did the whole protest. No, they were up and down L. Ron Hubbard Way, the first protest. And then the second protest, they got a permit, and we had to be across the street, and they put up this gigantic theater, and they played Tom Cruise videos all day and night. It was like, what a bunch of knuckleheads. Bunker and I were like, okay, that seals it. They're going to be here for a while. We had said, if they just leave them alone, they'll be gone in a week. But they couldn't do that. I don't think they'll cancel the permit. But I hope you're wrong. I hope yeah, I hope you're wrong. AGT Mom. And Sophie, at you, I get what Tori means, because everybody has an opinion on what Americans should be doing, and they don't live there. Yeah, it's tricky. Popping, not pooping. Okay, thank you. YRB, Dawn and Don. It's like your name. The spell chat function gets them confused, and my thumbs just don't work well. Yeah, don't worry about it. I get it. I really hope you have a quick healing. Someone using dictation replied, and it said Don versus Dawn. Okay. The chat says Tori, Tory, not Tori. Yeah, my name is Tory. That's what it should be. I think the internet has me in a lot of places as Tori, and that's because of Tori spelling. That's really where that changed. My dad, this was him when he was playing football. This was him. And let me just see if I think this is the Super Bowl one. Remember, somebody mentioned that about the Super Bowl one. So he actually got a card. An ex-Scientologist sent me that, the Super Bowl one. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know he had a card. And I left Scientology, and an ex-Scientologist, I'm trying to remember his name. He just passed away the same time as Andreas, like right around the same time. And anyway, I'm sorry. No. Anyway, it's too late at night. I can't remember it. But anyway, he was very kind. He went to a football thing and found those and sent them to me. And I have 4 of them. My dad had 4 of them. I didn't even know he had 1 of them. I was like, wow, cool. You earn XP for chatting and donating super chats. The users watching who have super chatted the most and talked the most get a crown. Oh, top 3 chatters get crowns. Wow, thank you for explaining that. I didn't know that. And a few people have asked me that. Okay, so you earn XP, which I don't know what XP is, for chatting and donating super chats. Maybe it's extra points. The users watching who have super chatted the most or talked the most get a crown. That's so sweet. That's very cute. I didn't know that. YRB, most people pronounce my name like Don. Oh, really? Instead of Dawn? Do you want it to be Don? Or you want it to be Dawn? Ooh, wait a minute. Keiko. The crown reflects the top 3 most talkative chatters. That's really cute. Yep. Katie Light says, I am who you say I am. if you don't believe in change life is grime, we can and should always do better as human beings, part of the great big world, and it starts at home, love. Yeah, it's true. It does. And it's kind of an everyday thing. You can work at it every day. Thanks. I was just looking for the right spelling. Cool. Sophie, Tori, YRB was typing Don because they're using voice to text. Oh, I see. And Dawn was correcting them. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sophie. I was a little confused on that. All right, we're talking about my misspelling of her name. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, YRB. The top 3 most talked about people get a crown with 1, 2, or 3 on it. Wow, cool. I am who you say I am. It says I'm number 1. Larry's number 2, and Rach is number 3. Wow. I don't think I've ever gotten a crown, but I don't talk that much. I mean, I talk making a video, but I don't talk typing because I don't like to type. I really don't. Tori, the crown doesn't have anything to do with memberships. Okay, thank you, Keiko. I figured it out because of what you guys told me tonight, but I didn't know that. That's what I thought. That's the only thing I could figure it was. Oops. So BC, I talked to my, no. That's why they give you the crown, because you're good at it. That's a good thing. No. I'll email you, Tori. You already know the answer to that question, but I will remind you lovingly. I think I do. It's fine. I know who it is. I remember. I do. I think. But I don't want you typing because of your shoulder. OSA's full of foreigners stalking Americans. That is true. And Scientology is busy pulling them in, too. I am who you say I am. Rach, LOL. YRB. But I kind of like my anonymity at this point. Don't worry. Keep it. Jessica's being careful. All right. Good. I love how Tori likes... Tori's like, screw you, man. What do you mean? I love how Tori's like, screw you, man. Who did I say that to? Did I say screw you, man? No. Come on, Sophie. They'll take it the wrong way. And if I had a Congress that would actually get to work done to stop him from doing this crud, would have been helpful too. Yeah, I know. That really ticks me off. It really does. Sorry, my video is behind because of my own use of dictation. Oops, again, I'll refresh it. Don't worry. Don't worry. You don't have to be sorry. Why? Don't they put David Miscavige? No. David Miscavige runs the joint. He puts people in the hole, which he created. David Miscavige was at Philly Org when I was there. Ooh, something just went weird. Just a second. Okay, something happened. Show the comments. David Miscavige was at the Philly Org when I was there. He was known as the Philly Org brat. I used to have tea with Ron. Yeah, his father after doing TRs. Yeah, I liked Ronnie. Dylan says, LOL, Jim. David Miscavige sleeps until noon, that lazy bum. Well, there you go. Jess. Yeah. Are you going to fight? Yeah, I am. Hi, Sarah. Told myself I was voting for a Harris administration, not the person. There were good people in the Biden administration, even though I never cared for Joe Biden. All right. Tori, right now, I consider it a trip to make it back and forth from the bathroom. Appointment days are killers. And I would be a puddle of mush getting there. Yeah. No, I didn't know you had your shoulder thing. Forget it. I consider a trip to the bathroom a success. Travel to the protest is out of the question. Yeah. I would be exhausted before I hit LA County. Yeah, no, no, wrong time. Hey there. Hi, no one. Palmadessa Street. We have to get it changed. Oh, God. That would be funny. YRB, you can protest metaphorically, piss on the establishment. There you go. YRB, I will be performing my traditional function, keeping an eye on all the streams and taking notes of all the irregular events, sort of a remote security. Thank you. That's good. That'll be great. Christian, they can't cancel the permit, but they definitely have ideas up their sleeves. Yeah, that's what they always do. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they'll probably have a movie in the middle of the block, and then they'll do shit so that just it can't really be as successful as we want it to be. But that's okay, because you know what? That makes it even more successful. And that's what they never get. That the more they screw with us, the better it is for us, because people see it and they go, wow, that's weird. If you have more security guards than David Miscavige, then Scientology is yours, including 2B, $2 billion, but nobody is interested. I think you're going to have to explain that a little bit more, Jim. I am who you say I am. That's so cool. Your dad's football cards. I know. Thank you. I thought so too. It was really, really great for me. It really was. It was really, really neat that this guy was kind enough to go and, he looked him up, saw that he had, statistics, and then he went to a sports store and found the cards. And I was like, oh my God. I told my brothers. They never even knew he had we didn't know he had one football card, let alone 4. It's kind of amazing. Kind of neat. It just shows you can always change someone. You can help someone. XP is experience. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, no one. I want it to be dawn, please, Tori. Okay. That's what I've been always calling you. So don't worry about it. I will. In my country, it's Francophone. So they changed my name and my father's name in an official way. I had to pay for it to be changed. My father's name is Mark, but they wrote Mark, M-A-R-C, on the papers. Keiko, thank you. XP is experience, or experience points. Oh, okay. It's a term that comes with gaming. My father's name was Don. Oh, okay. So Dawn and Don. Cool. Dawn, now I'm saying your name in that American accent that sounds like Don. It's Dawn. It's not Don. Not pronouncing with the W or the T's. No, she said she wants to be Dawn. She wants to be Dawn. She doesn't want to be Don. She just said that just a few minutes ago. Wait, let's see. I want it to be D-A-W-N, please, Tori. So that's Dawn. That's not Don. That's what she wants. So there you go, Sophie. Is Stacy Brooks doing well? I have no idea. I haven't talked to her in years. I really don't know. Wow, thank you, Benevolent Queen. A new member. All right, cool. Welcome, Benevolent Queen. That's cool. We need a benevolent queen, so that's good. Say whatever accent it sounds like, Dawn, Sophie. Sophie has a great accent. Well, welcome, Benevolent Queen. You did say screw you, man, at the total right time and use. It reminded me that you're still that rebellious girl who headed for California in the summer of love, but still got the tough Chicago. When did I say that? What was I telling you an old story about it? Or did I say that to somebody here tonight? That's what I'm curious. Benevolent Queen. Thanks for joining. 49ers, I might go to the protest. Yeah, definitely come. 49ers for life, 100% come. Yeah, we need people. The more the merrier. 49ers fan, that would be cool. And it'd be fun to see you. I used to be Marcy. Okay. Marcy. Well, good. I like Benevolent Queen. That's really good. My dad wanted me to call Mariduke if I was a boy. So thankfully I'm a girl. Yeah, Sophie's way perfect for you. I am who you say I am. Hey, Tori, is Scientology pro-life or pro-choice or neutral? They enforce abortions. They enforce them. That was my final straw on waking up because I didn't know that. And Andreas in Norway, who was never in, said to me once we were talking, he said, Magoo, you really need to start reading the internet. So I said, okay. And I was really afraid to read it, but I thought, all right, I trusted Andreas. So I thought, all right, I'll go look. And Mary Tabayoyan, her husband is still alive. She passed away, but he's still alive. And she had an article called Ladies, if you're thinking of joining the Sea Org, read this. And I was always thinking of going back in the Sea Org. So I thought, all right, I'll click on it. I clicked on it. And it was all about how she was pregnant. They drove her over to get an abortion. They made her get the abortion. They made her go on post the next day and be on post. And I cried and cried and cried. I had no idea that Scientology did that. And I was just like, I it's over. I can't be part of a group that makes women have abortions. I just can't. I'm pro choice. If you want to have an abortion, that's up to the woman. But I'm absolutely against making someone get an abortion. And so anyway, they're not pro-choice. They're like, you're getting, they don't allow, this is for the Sea Org, just so you know. There's the Sea Org and there's public. Public can do whatever they want. They can have kids, they can have abortions, they can do what they want. It depends on how they feel. Sea Org, no kids are allowed anymore. So you get pregnant, you're either routed out of the Sea Org or you're taken to an abortion clinic and you have an abortion. That's it. So there you go. That's your answer. Scientology is definitely pro-abortion. Is a preference for raising children is a distraction from serving Scientology for the Sea Org. Right. I don't know about my accent, Tori. Sometimes I hear it and oh no, you have a great accent. Dawn, Sophie, your accent never sounds cringy. No, it doesn't. You really have a great accent. I'm not just saying that. Dawn says, take that back, Sophie. You never sound cringy. Yeah, I agree. Take it back. Yeah, you don't sound cringy. And you got to stop thinking that even. It's just like, it's not true. Oh my God, that's terrible. I know it is about the enforced abortions. Dawn, you're so sweet. I know Americans love accents too. I do speak well most of the time, but sometimes it's slack. You're wonderful. I love the hearts. Thank you. Hubbard was pro-life and Dianetics. Hubbard and Miscavige are two different things. And I know the whole story behind it. I'll tell you another time because it's late at night. I got to go to bed. But I'll tell you. I'll make a video about what happened with the kids because I know a lot of people don't. Even the Sea Org, they don't know. They just think, oh, they changed it. The kids are out. No, that's not what happened. All right. When I speak in English with American, they don't complain, and most don't believe that I'm better in French, but I lack vocabulary. That's how you can know with me. I have sympathetic accent. Oh, cool, Katie Light. Sophie, Dawn. Okay, I take your point. I don't sound cringe, but I'm critical of my pronunciation. Okay, that's fair enough, Sophie. We're all that way, but don't be cringy because you have a wonderful accent. Forced abortion is feticide. It's just like murder. Exactly. That's why I had to go. I was just like, yeah. And I've had an abortion before, so I am pro-life. I'm pro-choice, but and I believe, you know, anybody, they should be able to choose what they want to choose. But enforced abortion, I'm 100% against. I think it's gross. But it did help me. It was the final straw. That was it. I couldn't stop crying for 4 hours. It was really awful. I know someone who wrote a report on the abortion pressure in the Sea Org and quoted Dianetics. Not sure what happened, but they ended up having it. Yeah, they have to. Okay, thanks, Tori. You're welcome. But my British family always complains that I have that American accent. Interesting. Sophie, your accent is very sexy. I love it. Yeah, me too. I agree. Okay, ladies, take it back. It's a Kiwi thing. We all say it probably because we grew up on English and American television. Okay. Hey, Rowan, hi. Hey, good to see you. I trust you are staying safe up there. I am. I'm staying way out of that. But we're having one of our friends got a permit for L. Ron Hubbard Way for Sunday, this Sunday coming up. So come up. Rowan is a protester that used to protest with me all the time. So come on up on Sunday. I think it's 11 to 4. But anyway, come up. Drew's going to be there. We're gonna go. It'll be fun. So I hope you come. It's good to see you on here. You're funny. All right, YRB. Hubbard wanted to raise a bunch of kids to start to finish Scientology. However, the organization could not handle that function, and they ended the policy and started to demand. Now, that's not it. I mean, you're sort of right, but I'll tell you, I'll make a whole video on it because it's intense. Tori, have you ever considered having Jerry Armstrong as a guest? Sure, I would love to. I just don't have a contact with him. Sophie. Anyway, wait, somebody asked a question because Sophie's saying that's a good question. Oh, about Jerry. Yeah. If anybody has a connection with him, yeah, that'd be great. Is the weather nice on your side of the world? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go because I've got to go to bed. It's freezing. Oh, I'm sorry, Sophie. Oh, that's right, because it's our summer, it's your winter. That's right. I remember that from Australia, mainly. That's where I learned it. But anyway, I've got to go. I love you guys. Thank you for being on here. Thank you for being so kind, so wonderful. And let's keep our fingers crossed for LA that the people do the right thing, and we get this thing calmed down, and then we get this thing worked out with these, we need the government, the people that are elected officials, to do what they're supposed to do. Hey, Danny. Tori, I need to call you tomorrow in the afternoon. I have your number. Okay, that's good. You do that. Love to LA, love to the American people. Love to you, Sophie. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Love It, for being here, for being our moderators. And for all of you, say a few prayers tonight or wishes that everything calms down. And for now, good night. And hopefully, now today is what? What are we at? Sunday. So I might do Monday, but I might skip and do Wednesday. I'm not sure. And I gotta see with this laptop if it's still working tomorrow. I'm scared to go to school tomorrow. Oh, don't be scared. Don't go then. If it's unsafe, don't go. Monday. Your hair looks great. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Don't go. If you're unsafe, don't go. That's my, you don't need to be around an unsafe environment. Anyone know what happened to Trashy the protester from Chicago? I don't. But anyway, I got to go because I've really got to go to bed. I got to get up earlier tomorrow. So peace out. I love you guys. And I will see you either tomorrow night or Wednesday. All right. And I'll try to post it, which one it is. All right. Cheers.